And tonight, more developments in the nefarious dealings of the Biden Family Corrupt Business Bureau. In other words, the Biden Corrupt Syndicate, because there are new reports that Hunter Biden remains financially tied to that Chinese equity firm that invested in a technology company sanctioned in 2019 for committing human rights violations against Uyghur Muslims. And of course, now we still have more questions than answers surrounding Zero Experience Hunter and his shady art dealings, like what exactly is the marketplace for that crappy drawing that I see on TV right now? Why all the secrecy? Oh, people can bid anonymously. Okay, and get this, one of the guests at Hunter's recent art shows in L.A., that would be Mayor Eric Garcetti, who was recently nominated by Biden to be the ambassador to India. Now, Circle Back Jen Psaki is asked about Hunter's dealings, sort of like portraits of a crack addict. But she refused to give a straight answer. Take a look.
There was concern when President Biden took office about his son's business dealings with China. He was supposed to divest himself of his stake in a Chinese private equity firm in December with ties to the Chinese central bank. As of April, he had not yet done that. And at some point, you were going to get back to us on that. Do you have an update on that? Has he dissolved that interest now?
I'd point you to his representatives on that. He doesn't work in the administration. You should talk to his representatives. That remains his policy. He's been working to wind that down. Beyond that, I think would talk to his representatives.
How about, is Joe compromised? Could Hunter made money without any experience with China, a Russian oligarch, Kazakhstan oligarch, and then, of course, Burisma Holdings? Oh, and the Libyan government did not have a very favorable opinion about Hunter Biden and his private life, his drug use, and, well, use of prostitutes. Anyway, we did reach out to Hunter Biden for a comment. Shockingly, he has yet to get back to us. Here for reaction, Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz, along with author of Do What You Said You Would Do, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. By the way, if Republicans would do that, Donald Trump gave the Republican Party a spine, a backbone, to fight for the things they say that they're going to fight for. Some of them I see, especially in the Senate, raising the debt ceiling, they may be losing that stiffer spine that Trump gave them. I want to talk about this. If I'm the son of a vice president and the vice president of the United States leverages $1 billion to get a prosecutor fired because they're investigating your son, if your last name's Trump, Jim Jordan, what happens? If your last name's Trump and you're getting money from Kazakhstan, China, and Russia, what's the difference in the coverage and what's the difference from the Democratic Party?
Yeah, you're Don Jr. and you got business ties with China. You got some newfound art talent. You got anonymous sales to people. And let's say Newt Gingrich's wife, Callista Gingrich, is up for nomination to be ambassador to the Vatican. You don't think that's a story, for goodness sake? But no. What's the Justice Department looking into right now? Not Hunter Biden and his China business ties and other ties with, questionable people or these art sales. What is the Justice Department looking into? Parents. Parents who objected school board meetings to critical race theory are now going to be defined as domestic terrorists with the latest memo that Attorney General Garland sends out. This is what just ticks off Americans so much, Sean, and it's ridiculous.
Jason, I'm not trying to be insulting to the guy's artwork. He's not a real artist. I mean, with all due respect, even the Libyans said, yeah, he's a crack addict. What is this, portraits of a crack addict, paint by numbers, and you're going to get up to $500,000 for one of these paintings? I don't think anybody in their right mind would pay $500,000 for this crap.
Well, it looks like a blood clot that somehow got captured on a piece of paper. And look, Joe Biden himself as the vice president, brought Hunter Biden to China on Air Force Two. He brought him on Air Force Two to Mexico, and he has ties into Ukraine.
They took him to China too. He went on that trip to China. 10 days later, he's making the deal with the Bank of China. Yeah.
That's right. And so Joe Biden as the candidate, Joe Biden as the president-elect, Joe Biden as the president said none of his family would have any relationships, no investments in any foreign entities. But the Chinese filings that took place just 2 weeks ago show that Hunter Biden has divested none of his investment, which some are estimating is up to worth up to $20 million based on a $400,000 or so investment in 2017. And so this is a very legitimate thing because the president keeps lying to us. It is relevant to the Oversight Committee. It is relevant to Congress. It is relevant to the White House and the American people because he's using the assets of the United States of America.
Jim Jordan, I'm watching these planes of China. They're saber rattling over Taiwan.
Yeah.
I see that Vladimir Putin gets a waiver for his pipeline while firing American Keystone XL pipeline workers and eliminating high-paying career jobs. As I look at those two instances, and can you connect the dots? The First Lady of Moscow, $3.5 million to Hunter Biden, $1.5 billion deal Bank of China, $100,000 shopping spree. Why isn't anyone asking the question, are the Bidens compromised by Russia, by China, Kazakhstan, and by Ukraine? Because it seems to me they might be.
Yeah, no, I think it's twofold. I think that's a real question and should be investigated. But in today's world, when you're on this march towards communism, as the left is, you don't do the real investigations that need to be done. Plus, also, when you project weakness, Sean, from the Oval Office, which is we know exactly what Joe Biden's doing, bad people can become emboldened and do bad things. We saw that with the whole debacle that was the withdrawal from Afghanistan. So those two things coupled together, I think, is why I am so nervous and so many people are so nervous about how we look around the world and what may happen to, as you say, Taiwan or one of the former Russian satellite countries that are now independent. So I think that is very concerning. But this is what happens when you have Fauci say that, you do it for the greater good, forget your freedom. When you have an attorney general investigate parents who he calls domestic terrorists because they go to a school board meeting, object to critical race theory being taught. And then when you have something like what happened to Senator Sinema with the left, that is what it looks like when you have the left on this rapid march towards socialism.
Thank you, Jim Jordan. Thank you, Jason Chaffetz. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.